All right, on the boardwalk, and I do my little turn on the boardwalk. Whoa, modeling with trig equations, not clothing. So we're doing Ferris wheels, So I thought I'd make this video to help you. Starting off with our guided notes today to make sure we really understood this. And so first of all, Darlene is on a Ferris wheel with a radius 10 meters, and the bottom of the wheel is 2 meters above the ground. And she just got on the bottom. It starts to ride at 0. It takes her 50 seconds to reach the top of the wheel. So draw a picture of this. And so we drew a wheel there, 2 meters off the ground. 2 meters off the ground there. And awesome. And so then it has a radius of 10, which means the center will be right there. It'd be 10 above it and 10 below it. So total distance of 20. And so plus the ground, 2. So 22 is the total height there at the top. At the top. We got a height of 22 meters. And so then the minimum is going to be 2 meters because that's just this distance here. Well, it looks like a 12 now. Don't do that. And there we go. And then what is the maximum height above the ground? Again, 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Good. Okay, then it says sketch a graph to model this problem where the y-axis is h. So we went ahead and sketched this graph just like this. Awesome. There we go. And so there we go. And so then let's see here. So this wheel basically represents Darlene. Can you see her and the red dot there? She's waving to you. Hi guys. What's up, Darlene? Hold on. Here's the ride. So you can see as the wheel slowly rotates and stays on that midline there and goes across, which we need to fix. And you can see this, so she's there now, then rotates some more, and then she's there. And so this graph of cosine is slowly showing her reaching the top. Cool. So now she's at the top there. So I did make a small mistake when I wrote this down. So the midline is actually 12. And so that means the distance from 12 to 22 is 10, which is our amplitude. And then 12 minus 2 is also 10. So our amplitude is 10, and our midline is 12. Let's show you again how we got those, because I don't think we covered it that well in class. And so you can see my mistake there. So it's actually midline is the maximum plus the minimum. That's the midline plus. So that would be 22 plus 2. Thanks to Lucarini. First help, name drop. So 22 plus 12 to remind me about the formula switcheroozy there. And so that's the formula for the midline, which is 12. And then the amplitude, there's actually a formula for amplitude. And so the amplitude formula, to help you really get this down. So very, very similar, easy to mix them up. So the amplitude is the maximum minus the minimum, and then average that. So maximum minimum divided by 2. And so our max here was 22 minus 2. And so 22 minus 2 is 20, divided by 2 is 10. So that's how we got an amplitude of 10. And then 22 plus 2 is 24, and 24 divided by 2 is 12 meters. And so that's the answer on the back side where it asks for the amplitude, which is going to be 10. And then the period is 0 to 100 seconds. Remember, the height of it was reached at 50, so to make it all the way back to the bottom, it's 100 seconds, double that. So our period is 100 seconds. Awesome. And then again, it says principal axis, but we need to cross through that. It's really midline is what we did there. And so the midline is 12 meters, which we did do right in class, which is good. We didn't graph it right, but now we did. And then the equation is going to be y equals, it is an upside down. And so since it's upside down, can't be found. So since it's an upside down cosine graph, then we're going to have a negative sign in the front. Negativo. Negative. Yes, Gwen? So we're going to put negative there. Again, so the amplitude was 10. The midline was 12. And then to find the b value, it's actually 2 pi over b. And so that's the formula, right? 2 pi over b. and then equals our 100 seconds, 2 pi over b. So 2 pi over b equals our 100 seconds. And then you're going to switcheroo these. So b goes up here over to this side, and then 100 gets divided down there. There we go. And then 2 divided by 100 is 50, because you divide by 2, divide by 2. So we end up with pi over 50 times x. So there's our formula. There's our formula there. And let me answer that because she's going to wonder where I am. And then we'll carry on here. Let's see. Tell me, he's checking out. You got it. Thanks. Okay, there we go. Okay, so then let's go ahead and jump over to the homework now and take a look at one of those problems. So why don't we just look at the first one there. So then, you're welcome, Gwen. She's the best. Gonna miss her. She's going after this year, retiring. So on this first graph here, we have, let's see here. So is this the one we're first looking at, I think? Trying to remember her. Oh, that's the example. Okay, so that is, I believe, the example. I actually want to jump over to the homework problem itself. Okay, jumping over to that homework problem. Make sure the door is open. We got some 4th period students coming in a second. Cool. So it tells you the conversion minutes to seconds, multiply by 60, and seconds to minutes, divide by 60. So don't forget that. You might need that later on in this homework assignment. So we have a Ferris wheel here, starting with question number 1, that has a radius of 35 and starts 2 meters above the ground. So that's just like that first example we did. So there's our 2 meters above the ground. Has a radius of 35. There's our center. So that means that this is 35, and that means that this is 35. So that means we have a total height of 72. And so that's going to be a maximum there of 72 high, which is cool. Remember that. Don't forget that. It does say it rotates every 53 seconds. So they want us to go and determine that cosine equation of the graph. Cool. So it is going to be y equals negative something, whatever the amplitude is. And then we have cosine. And then again, our period is 2 pi over b, or actually 2 pi over our period. So 2 pi over 53x. And then plus our midline. So let's take a look at that again and see if we can get it right. And so basically, the midline is going to be right there. So if we just add 35 plus 2, that's going to give us 37 for our midline. And then our amplitude, of course, you can see is 35 up and 35 down, which is just the radius. Awesome. In time for our bell quiz, sick. Just making a video right now for Math 3. Yeah, Math 3, they need it. He's got some crazy problems with Ferris wheels. You got it. Thanks, Mason. Sketch 2 complete cycles of the graph. Ooh. So 53 seconds and 53 seconds. You guys can think about it, see if you can help me. So how far is 53 seconds twice? 53 plus 53. Is that 106 seconds? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so remember the highest it went was 72. Because 35 and 35 is 70 plus 2 meters above the ground is that Ferris wheel. And then 2 meters there. So we're doing upside down cosine. So I want us to sketch it. So let's go ahead and sketch it. Whoa. So 1 full cycle is 53 seconds. So it's going to go up pretty fast there. And then here's another cycle. That one's a little bit. Don't judge me. I won't judge you either. It's supposed to be the same distance. Didn't know what happened there. But that's okay. So this is our, again, our height. Don't forget to label. So height in seconds. And then, no, not seconds. So this is our height in meters. Height in meters. And this is our time in seconds. Awesome. There we go, time in seconds. So I'll come back for video number 2 since 4th period is beginning. Awesome. 5 people. I think more people are coming. I think so. If you build it, they will come. And I built this amazing classroom. No, I didn't, but the district did with air conditioning and heating. So they're going to come. So just give us some more time there. I will go and write it out for you really quick, though, just to help those people watching this first video, and then we can calculate it and make sure we did it right. So we're asking for the height in 81 seconds. That means you just go ahead now and plug in 81 right here for x, and then put that in your calculator. But make sure that you're in radians. Make sure in radians. Radians. Hope that didn't pick up on the microphone. So then, so make sure it's in, make sure it's in radians. And then you take 51 meters for this question D, and you go ahead and, so that's for the next problem. And so then you just solve for x, and you make sure 53 is over here, and then solve for x. Or you can graph it with a calculator, and then go and solve for that. But we'll make that other video and finish off this homework problem number 1 in a second. Well, it'll be a second to you, but for me, it's going to be an hour and a half later. Whoa! See you soon.